Boom, their brains seem to explode with a stroke. But something else explodes as well. An outpouring of creativity so strange, it seems like it's coming from a different person. Once again, Bob Brown.
This is not a sentimental journey into the mind. It is a story about people whose brains were thunderstruck and re-engineered by trauma.
I have experienced stuff that has jettisoned me into a different relationship with reality.
Who experienced volcanic outbursts of images and ideas and creative energy.
Carving, writing, thinking.
And who were left with their minds surfing through an alien universe.
I remember thinking, why do I have to rhyme? Like, I would just sort of find myself wanting to break out into rhyme.
A chiropractor, an ex-convict, and a neurologist were all links to the same medical mystery. How could a common occurrence like a stroke unleash an unceasing and uncontrollable burst of creativity? And what became of the people they used to be?
So this is not at all like your studio.
Nope.
Unknown to Tommy McHugh and an ocean apart from him was a man who knew exactly what was going on. Because years earlier, he also had experienced a kind of creative metamorphosis after a stroke. John Sarkin, who in his old life was a successful chiropractor in Gloucester, Massachusetts, was stricken at the age of 35 as he prepared to tee off during a golf game.
And I felt this intense, explosive flood in my head, and it just changed everything. Sounds were different, things looked different. I knew that something had cataclysmically changed.
Surgery led to a stroke that necessitated more surgery. And after months of difficult rehabilitation, his creative compulsions also began with multiple drawings of the same object.
I remember I came home from the hospital and I started to draw pictures of cactus over and over and over again.
What was inspiring about a cactus?
What's inspiring about a cactus? Desert is a pretty inhospitable place, isn't it? Cactuses thrive in the desert. That's like a metaphor for me.
If the world suddenly seemed inhospitable to Sarkin, the tempest in his brain flung out words and images in such a raw and unrestrained way that his drawings now fill this storage room in Gloucester. His wife, who prefers not to be interviewed, has stayed with him all these years. And aided by his disability income, they've raised 3 children. In the outside world, there was a recognition that some of Sarkin's better pieces were marketable. His works have sold for as much as $20,000 and have been published in the New Yorker magazine and displayed in galleries in New York and Boston. But one of the key after effects of Sarkin's new personality was also the feeling that no one else could truly understand his changes or the demons that inhabited his altered universe.
Are they always there? It's just that you've learned to deal with them, or have they gone away?
No, they're always there. They're always there.
She was also helpful in encouraging a friendship between Tommy and someone else who had experienced similar compulsions, John Sarkin, the chiropractor we met earlier.
John and Tommy are sort of in a permanently heightened state of emotionality in that way.
And in that regard, Dr. Flaherty was able to offer a simple diagnosis that stemmed from her own experience. Sarkin and McHugh were not crazy. Their strokes created lesions that, in rare circumstances, appear to give the victims a new ability.
John's was back far in his brain and in an area that affects basic functions. His head is full of ideas, and they just spill out in his art. It's packed with words and ideas, his poetry, his paintings. Tommy had a ruptured brain aneurysm, and it really bathed his brain with blood, but not in any way that caused permanent big scars.
In a joint effort worthy of the kinds of quirky plots you see in buddy movies, Sarkin and McHugh mounted a joint exhibition of their works at the Novus Gallery in Liverpool.
We were painting a picture, me and John, on the floor in Novus Gallery. John squeezed his toothpaste on the picture by mistake. John was laughing his head off.
The guy talks nonstop in rhyme. And I said, I just looked at him and I said, you know, like, you're crazy, but you make a lot of sense, my friend. It was cool.
John Sarkin sent this video in an email to his new friend, Tommy McHugh. It shows as dramatically as anything they've done how the demands of their impulses never stop. How, despite layer after layer after layer of additions, nothing is ever really done.
Is there any similarity between what you went through and what John Sarkin and Tommy McHugh went through?
I think the cause might have been different, but the end result was that we were all kind of nutty in the same way.
There is no name for the rare condition that resulted from their strokes. But if you're looking for the key element in this medical mystery, it may have less to do with creative inspiration than it has to do with the furious drives that were unleashed in these two men by their brain traumas, drives that essentially forced them to create.
Were these new personalities of theirs created by the strokes, or were they revealed?
My own bias would be to say that these are new people. Their personalities changed, the way they interacted with the world. All their friends say, you're really different.
I'm really lucky because I can see the meaning of my life now.
Is it possible that now you're the person you were meant to be?
Yep.